Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And today I just wanted to begin exploring a simple question, which is life-work balance a good idea? Now, on the face of it, that seems a silly question. Of course it is. Of course it's a good idea. Life-work balance is what it's all about. It's where it's at. Because if we don't have life-work balance, work inevitably overwhelms life. Nobody on their deathbed ever says, I wish I'd spent more time at the office. Now, first off, I've never been sure whether that's actually true. If you love what you do and you feel it makes a tremendous contribution to the world, I think you could wind up on your deathbed wishing you'd spent more time at the office, particularly if you'd stopped yourself from being at the office, you'd stopped yourself from doing your work because you had an idea about life-work balance is good for me, that life-work balance is the way to go, that I'm not supposed to work more than a certain number of hours, that if I work more than a certain number of hours, I'm a workaholic, and I need to learn to relax and switch off and enjoy my life. Now, I just want to present a different way of looking at it. And the reason I say I almost that I want to start talking about this is because I think this is a big topic. I think there's a lot here, and I think this is something I'll come back to again and again in the coming months. So this is just like we're just laying some groundwork here. But let me show you what I think is wrong with life-work balance as a way of thinking about things, and then let me offer an alternative. So inherent in the idea of life-work balance is that there's life and there's work, and that work isn't really a part of life. It's a necessary evil, or it's a necessary good thing. But effectively, if it wasn't for the fact that we had to work, we wouldn't. Now, I don't, again, think that's true. I actually think work is an expression of our inner creative desire, and we just call it work with a work if it's something that we probably wouldn't do if we weren't getting paid, and we don't call it work when it's something that we would do whether we were getting paid or not. But inherent is why it seems like you need a balance, because it seems like, well, I've got to sacrifice success at work up to a point so that I can have a nice life, but I've got to sacrifice having a nice life up to a point so that I can do what I need to do at work so that I can afford to have a nice life. And it's all built around work as means to end. Work as means to have nicer life, as opposed to work as an expression of the soul. Work as an exploration of the deepest part of ourselves. Work as an expression of this infinite creative potential as manifest in us as individuals. Now, if we're not going to go with life-work balance, how do we know what to do? Like, how do we know why wouldn't we work 24/7? Well, because we have an innate wisdom inside us. We have an inner common sense that when we listen to it, it will let us know what's next. It will let us know when it's time to work and it's time to play and it's time to dance and it's time to rest. It's built into the system. And over time, probably something will emerge that looks like balance. But we're not the ones keeping score. We're not the ones looking at our lives externally over a fixed period of time and saying, if I spend more than this many hours on this, I'm out of balance. You're out of balance when you're not following your inner flow. You're out of balance when you're making yourself do things that you know not to do. You're out of balance when you spend all your time thinking about what you've done or are going to be doing in the future, and you're not with whatever is happening now, whatever you happen to be doing now. There's a story I always remember about a test that they gave. Not a test, but an experiment with young children, 5-year-olds, if I'm remembering correctly, but it may have been 3-year-olds. And they, for 30 days, gave them access 24/7 to food, and any kind of food. So they could go at any time, day or night, and eat whatever. And there was every kind of food, from what we'd consider healthy options to unhealthy options to moderately healthy options. And what they found is that over the first few days, the kids did choose what we would think of as the unhealthy options, the sugary snacks, the sugary cereals, the things the hot fudge sundaes of life. But over the course of a month, the kids just naturally ate a healthier diet. And if you just cataloged what they ate over the course of the month, it turned out to be kind of what you would want kids to eat over the course of a month. A balance of healthy foods and fun healthy foods and healthy fun foods. Well, it's the same with life-work balance to me. If you set out not to have a balanced life, but to have a joyful one, if you set out not to try and get it right, but to try and enjoy it more, you'll find yourself naturally balancing things out. So other people could look at your life and go, ooh, what lovely life-work balance. Or they might look at your life in a moment and go, ooh, you seem to be working a bit much. Or don't you need to go to work, young man or young woman? Whereas over time, you'll see there's a perfect flow. There's a perfect unfolding. And the possibility of enjoying everything in your life is always there. So you're enjoying work when you're working. You're enjoying not work when you're not working. You're enjoying whatever it is that you're doing. And if you think, well, I can't enjoy some things. I was reading in my friend Steve Chandler's new book, Right Now, Mastering the Beauty of the Present Moment. And he talks about how he fell in love with taking out the garbage. And he just realized that, boy, I got a story about taking out the garbage, and it's kind of making my life miserable, not just when I take out the garbage, but when I think about taking out the garbage, and I think about having to take out the garbage, and I resent life for giving me garbage to take out. And he said one day he just decided to start enjoying it. And he said it was so easy, it happened so well that it got out of hand. And now, he'll talk to his wife, and he'll say, hey, Kathy, big day tomorrow. And she'll go, well, what's going on, Steve? And it's like, well, garbage day. And she'll look at him like he's nuts. Now, I don't know how to tell you how to enjoy your life without some people looking at you as though you're nuts. But maybe this Nietzsche quote will give you some comfort. Those who danced were thought insane by those who could not hear the music. Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and please do share your thoughts on this podcast in the Inside Out community on Facebook.